You think your mouse is good enough? Let me show you what you are missing out on with the SwiftPoint Z2. Other competitors' mice limit you to a single button for layered inputs, but the SwiftPoint Z2 changes the game entirely, thanks to what we call input nesting. Every button on the SwiftPoint Z2 becomes a portal to multiple layers, commands, and even gestures by simply pressing and holding one of the 13 physical buttons. And here's the best part. Once you finish your sequence of actions, the Z2 seamlessly switches back to the original profiles, binds, and custom actions. It's just effortless productivity hacks designed to keep you locked in no matter the task at hand. So here we are inside of the X1 control panel. Today I'm working inside the sub profile that I've created inside of my main desktop profile, and that sub profile is for Google Chrome. Once I've selected the Google Chrome profile, I'm going to come on over and click on my right click button. Once that new window has popped up, we're going to come down and change deep click to button, and then come over to the other drop down menu on the right hand side and change left button to bottom thumb. And once we've done that, we're going to come down and click on add input once again and do the same thing again. Change deep click to button, come on over to the drop down and change left button to top thumb. As you can see, these are currently set to none. So click on the menu next to where it says bottom thumb and type the word cut. Same with the top thumb, we're simply going to type the word paste and select that. So to make sure that this is working properly, we're going to come over to a notepad where I have written just a little note for you guys. It says, hello SwiftPoint YouTube viewers, we hope you are enjoying these tutorials. So what we're going to do, we're going to use our left click, of course, to select the text here. And then whilst clicking down and pressing and holding our right click, we're going to hit the lower thumb button to cut that out, and we're going to hit our top thumb button to paste that back in. As simple as that, and that shows that our input nesting is working perfectly fine. Okay, so moving on to a few more examples and showcasing how input nesting can work inside of a game and also inside of a graphic design software suite that I use every single day, and that is Canva. And so let's begin this section by jumping into a game. We're going to jump into a game that I've been playing quite a bit lately, and that is Hell Let Loose. We do have a pre-configured Hell Let Loose profile for the SwiftPoint Z2, which out of the box is incredibly powerful. So for this input nesting, we're going to focus on using the same button, so the right click and the two thumb buttons. But this time we're going to assign the Q and E to the thumb buttons. When we hold down our right click for ADSing, we can use our thumb buttons to lean left and or lean right. Now, side note here, I know that many players in Hell Let Loose will have their ADS set to a toggle, which then allows them to freely activate all of the buttons on their mouse or their keyboard at their will. But for players like myself who prefer to press and hold the right click to bring their sights up, this is a more comfortable way of being able to activate more buttons to do more strings of actions within the game to help you with that competitive edge. Okay, so moving back over to my computer, let's set up this input nesting within our Hell Let Loose profile. We have that available in our profile list at the top, so we're going to select our Hell Let Loose profile. We're going to come down to the right click button, which at the moment says aim. We're going to once again come in and hit add input, change that from deep click to button. Where it says left button, come down, change this to bottom thumb, whichever way around you want to have those stacked up. Come down to the second one and add another input, change deep click to button and go left button to top thumb button. Of course, make sure you hit save on this as well. Close that little menu down. And where it says done next to the bottom thumb, we're going to change this to whichever one you like. I'm going to go with Q, so my lower thumb button is going to lean me to the left. So I'm simply just going to type Q. And then on my top thumb, I'm going to set that to E so that my top thumb will lean me to the right hand side. So click on that again and simply type the letter E. So there we go. We've got Q and E now assigned to the two thumb buttons of our SwiftPoint Z2. Once you've hit save, it's now time to jump into a Hell Let Loose game. Recommend going into the barracks to do a little practice here, to double check and make sure that your input nesting has been set up correctly and the game is recognizing the input from the SwiftPoint Z2. So I mentioned content creation and graphic design. I spend a lot of time creating designs inside of Canva for SwiftPoint and personal work. I use movement gestures on the Z2 inside of Canva every day to make my workflow smoother. For example, I've set up layer adjustments where I press the rear edge button and move the mouse forward or backwards to change an object's position. I've also set up zoom controls where I press the front edge button and move the mouse the same way to zoom in and out. I've also created a move element gesture where I use the left fingertip button, and by physically moving my SwiftPoint Z2 will move my elements around the screen vertically and horizontally. So there we have it, a super simple input nesting example with the SwiftPoint Z2 followed by a few slightly more technical examples. Now, of course, I'm just scraping the barrel of what input nesting on the SwiftPoint Z2 can achieve. The options here are pretty much endless, and the world is your oyster when it comes to customization options. If you are a SwiftPoint Z2 user or not, I'd love to hear from you down in the comment section with what you would assign to the SwiftPoint Z2's input nesting capabilities. That's all from me in this input nesting tutorial video. If you have any more questions or need more technical help, then please be sure to email us on support@swiftpoint.com, and I will see you in the next video.